What's up, VC? It's Chris back here. Thought I'd make another quick vinyl finds before I head to work here in a little bit. Been liking everybody's RSD posts and some rants and stuff like that. I enjoy watching them. Like I kind of said before, all my RSD stuff is online, so I've gotten some of it in, and hopefully this weekend I'll make an RSD finds video with all the stuff I got. Kind of shocked how much stuff I ended up getting actually, but ended up being more and more that I wanted to get. So this one is some jazz records that I finally cleaned and bringing them up to the collection. So let's go ahead and start it off. First, Thelonious Monk, Crisscross. It's on Columbia. There's a Columbia 2i. This is from 1963. Yep, 1963. And has Charlie Rouse on saxophone. Just a really great Thelonious album. Really any album that Monk has. His earlier stuff I really enjoy. So moving on, another Thelonious Monk. This is Straight No Chaser. This is 1966. Also on the 2i Columbia label. I think that's a pretty cool cover. Got some gears and almost like a, I don't know, like a Da Vinci-esque kind of drawing, you know, like a pencil drawing or something like that. So I think it's really cool. Another solid album. Almost has a, I don't know, like a jazz club. Like, you know, you're just sitting in a jazz club listening to them, and like they're just kind of freestyling. And I mean, it's just a great album. And next, you guys all know my, I won't say love, but my fascination, I guess you could say, with my favorite jazz pianist, Mr. Horace Silver. Picked up another one of his. This is the Tokyo Blues, Horace Silver Quintet. This one has Blue Mitchell on trumpet, Junior Cook on tenor sax, and John Harris on drums. So good lineup. That's on, of course, on the Blue Note label, the all-famous Blue Note label that somehow I just kind of keep trying to get more of them. Came with the original inner too, which is kind of cool. I was really happy to bring this one into the collection. This album's really not talked too much about his. Songs for My Father is always brought up, Six Pieces of Silver, but this is a great album by him and can be had a little bit cheaper than the other ones. So, what year is this from? I don't know if I said. 1962. Next one I kind of mentioned before in some videos, just finding, jazz can get pretty expensive. Obviously they were made a long time ago and not that many were pressed, so the not rare but scarceness, I guess you could say, of some of the albums can be a little bit expensive to buy. So I'm always looking for just cheap, good jazz, and I think this next artist fits the bill. I think he's a severely underrated saxophonist. That's Sonny Stitt. This is at the DJ Lounge. A little bit of writing on the back there, but that's on the Argo label. And I mean, this album can be had, definitely under 10, usually under 5, and it's fantastic jazz. Let me tell you, I would put this on any day of the week in my house and listen to it. So, oh, he also, on this one, I think he does a rendition right here of Blue Moon. Blue Moon. Yeah, you know the song. But that's kind of cool. Next one, the Modern Jazz Quartet. This is featuring Sonny Rollins. This one's on Atlantic. And this one's on the, like I was saying, get it out here. The Atlantic label, the black one. haven't really showed too many labels in my videos, so just trying to help out with that. But this is 1958. They had, like I said, guest artist Sonny Rollins. They did a cover of Night in Tunisia. What else they got on here? Festival Sketch. Connie K's on drums on this one. It's pretty good. Next one, James Moody, Flutin' the Blues. This one is on the Argo label that I just showed a minute ago. Great album. 1956, kind of like upbeat pop. Eddie Jefferson, famous jazz vocalist, sings on 3 of the tracks on here. I'm trying to see which one is my favorite. I think Parker's Mood. Yeah, Parker's Mood is a great song. Alright, moving along. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. This is Drum Suite. Just picked this one up in an estate sale. I did not have this one in my Art Blakey collection. The first side is pretty much just like percussion, drums, kind of Art Blakey, and I forgot who else. Someone else is playing the bongos. I can't remember who else is playing the bongos on this one. But this is on the 6i Columbia label, the famous 6i Columbia label. One of my favorites. Great jazz album. The B side of this, there's 3 tracks where he plays with the Messengers, and just really great jazz as usual from Art Blakey. Next one, Ornette Coleman, Change of the Century. This is on Atlantic as well. This is 1960, kind of free jazz. This one has Charlie Hayden and who else? Billy Higgins on drums. So pretty good lineup on that one. Good stuff. This one, an early one from Roland Kirk, We Free Kings. This one's on the Mercury label. I think it's the, I don't know if it's the maroon or if it's the black Mercury. Yeah, it's the black Mercury label there. Just a great album. Kind of like a soul type jazz, you know. Next one, I was really happy to see this one at estate sale. John Coltrane, Lush Life. Not one you typically see from him. This one is on Prestige. 1961. I love that label, the old Prestige label. One of my favorites. Another great album by him. Typical free jazz from Coltrane. Title track is great. Paul Chambers is on here. Donald Byrd. So great lineup. I would suggest if you like Coltrane, give it a listen. Most of you have probably already heard it. But next one, Stan Getz, Charlie Byrd. This is the Jazz Samba. This is on Verve. Great, like Latin jazz. Just all around great album. Next one is a jazz compilation. On Mike, 24 great jazz artists. Value $9.98 for $4.98. This is on the Pacific Jazz, and it has kind of a cool back. It shows all the album covers that are on here. So it's got Chet Baker, Cannonball Adderley, Art Blakey, Stanley Turrentine, Wes Montgomery, Jackie McLean. I mean, couldn't let that one sit there. Next one we got Jimmy Smith, Wes Montgomery. This is the Dynamic Duo. This is good back and forth, organ, guitar, jazz, obviously, with the two of them. But they kind of go back and forth. The organ will kind of kick in with Jimmy Smith, and here comes Wes Montgomery kind of back at him with the guitar. Really good album. Really enjoy it. really enjoy Jimmy Smith. He's really one of my favorite jazz artists. I have quite a few albums by him, and definitely if you're looking at starting like a Blue Note collection, you can have some of his albums a lot cheaper than some of the other Blue Note artists. So if you're ever thinking about that, getting started in that, Jimmy Smith is definitely the way to go. This one's just a compilation from Chick Corea. This is a compilation as well from his Blue Note years. Kind of free, crazy jazz. I wouldn't say funk, but he definitely gets a little crazier than some of the other jazz artists with his stuff. So I don't have too many. I think that's about as much Chick Corea as I need. So next one is Dexter Gordon, Blues a la Suisse. Showed Dexter Gordon some of my other videos. Just great stuff. This is kind of a crazy. I think this is a Prestige. Yeah. This is live at a jazz festival in Switzerland. Really great album from him. And these guys, obviously you've heard of their first album together, Getz Gilberto. This is Stan Getz João Gilberto #2. Obviously their first one is very popular. This is the follow-up to that on Verve. Also very good. This is recorded at Carnegie Hall, as you can see. Their first one, they had a big hit with, Girl from Ipanema and all that. So this next one is what we're playing right now. This is Grant Green, Solid. Now this was released later, as you can tell by the later Blue Note, but all this stuff was recorded in 1964, I believe. So this is, if you don't have this killer album from Grant Green, one of my favorite jazz, obviously guitarists, but listen to the lineup: Joe Henderson, McCoy Tyner, Elvin Jones, Bob Cranshaw, Rudy Van Gelder. Fantastic album. And don't let the cover fool you. This is old Grant Green. So next, another compilation. This is a jazz piano anthology, 1972 on Columbia. Kind of a cool cover with just pictures of all the artists. I was almost thinking about just displaying this one. I kind of enjoyed this cover. It's got Bill Evans, Horace Silver, Brubeck, Basie, Ellington. So it's kind of like going over the years of jazz piano. And piano jazz is almost my favorite kind of jazz, so I had to pick that up. Next we got Ornette Coleman, Dancing in Your Head. This is kind of his 1977 going into funk type music. This is a promo copy. If I can get it in there. Oh, it's a gatefold. So. But this is a promo copy on the Horizon label. It's okay. Not my favorite Ornette Coleman album, but obviously, going into the funk, so it's not a typical jazz album, but it's good. Alright, next we got another Coltrane album. This is Olé, 1961 on Atlantic. Another good free jazz album from Mr. Coltrane. One of my favorite albums by him is the Atlantic label. McCoy Tyner's on this one, I think. Yep, McCoy Tyner, Freddie Hubbard, Art Davis on bass, and Elvin Jones on drums again. Dahomey Dance is a whole side of this album, and it is fantastic. This is now one of my favorite Coltrane albums. Obviously his famous ones, but this is fantastic. And I thought I would finish it off with a blues album. This is Best of Freddie King, 1975 on the Shelter label of all things. Kind of a different. I didn't have anything on the Shelter label. Going Down, one of his famous songs is on this. Great song, great blues album altogether. So that's it for my jazz finds this week. I'll I'll probably do a normal video this weekend with finds, and then I should have a package of about 30-something records coming, so I'll do a mail package this weekend. I guess my second mail call, I guess you could say. And then also do a record store day, quick little, I don't know, 5-6 minute video of what I got. I was real happy